Hey guys, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan. This is our first weekly update of the new year. This is now 2015, and I haven't done a weekly update this year at all. So this is number 23, and it's my first of the new year. Still haven't come up with a good name for my weekly show, even though it's not a weekly show, but this is a week update. I'm going to start by talking a little bit about Anchor Chemical. Now, I've gotten some emails and from some guys that say, hey, this stuff's really expensive. I tried to get it through MSC, or I tried to get it through McMaster-Carr or whatever. Those guys charge what they want. And we have negotiated a very special price to the YouTube community directly with Anchor Chemical for this. And the phone number is 1-800-466-9925. It's on the board. It'll be on the board for the rest of this video. Call them they're in Ohio, I think. Call them during normal business hours. Chances are Diana will pick up the phone. Very nice to talk to a real person. Mention the YouTube community or mention Bar Z Industrial, and you will receive better pricing than most other retail outlets. So yes, you can buy factory direct. So, and it's nice to talk to a real person over there. So that's it for Anchor Lube, but some guys thought, well, we want to try it, and they just started shopping around all over the place for it, and there's some of these places are pretty high. Okay, next up, some of the guys over on Facebook, you know, that kind of hang out over there, that also hang out on YouTube, probably know that my old vintage DRO let the magic smoke out. So actually twice it did. The first time it smoked right in between the cover and the faceplate, and a little bit of smoke came out of there, and it stopped working in the incremental mode, but still worked in the you know, in your base mode, in your homing mode, or whatever you want to call it. But and then it ran for about 2 days, and then it smoked again. And then my then when I switched over to Absolute, and then it just read all 8s on Absolute, and it did nothing on incremental. So it was a goner. So I just posted it on YouTube. I don't know. I just made a comment that my DRO burned up. And a gentleman by the name of Craig Nagel says he has a vintage DRO that looks similar to mine. I guess he paid attention on one of my videos on what kind of DRO I had. So he sent it to me. And kind of a funny letter with it. It starts out with, I am sorry for your loss. Magic smoke can never be a good thing. However, I just happen to have some of it sitting around on the shelf since last summer. One thing I learned, that all magic smoke is not created equal. Older units such as this have more volume than the latest models. You are one lucky guy. It's not every day you get to see and smell vintage magic smoke. Anyways, he sent me a replacement for my DRO, for my old Accurite. It's an old Bausch & Lomb Accurite. Let's go take a look at what he sent. Well, some of you may know that my old Accurite gave up. We got nobody home. And for a little while there, it was reading all 8s. And now it doesn't do nothing. It actually smoked twice. The smoke came out of this thing twice. So something's going on in there. And the smell's pretty much gone now, but this guy, nobody's home anymore. But courtesy of my viewer, Mr. Craig, I've got this one. And oh, there's some promise there. Look at that. Oh, 0. Oh, 0. Look at that. We're all fired up. Let's move a handle. Oh, my scales work and everything. And just for the hell of it, let's go here. I'm not gonna put a dial indicator on it or anything. We'll check. Put it on 0 right there, and up here we'll 0, 0. Looking good. And maybe we'll move here. Maybe we'll move 10. 10.5, so not terrible. Let's go all the way around. Let's go 200.
Each rev on this thing is 200. So that's line to line. Yeah, I'd say that's 200. Oh, there's my half a thou again. Let's zero that just for grins. We got a real good zero there. And a good zero there. Let's take that around one more time. See if we can get rid of that half thou. Yeah, I'm calling that good line to line there. Oh, look at that. All right, so pretty happy there.
And we're back. So Craig, thank you very much. Craig's got a YouTube channel, but he won't tell me what the name of his YouTube channel is because he doesn't want anyone going there. But I know he's a YouTuber. I just don't know what his online handle is. But Craig, thank you very much for the DRO. And I got your name up here on the squares list for 2-inch 45s and 2-inch 60s squares. So your name's on the list and it's coming up. Next up, oh, I got a little email from Brad and Brad Jacob. And for those of you who don't know who that is the Basement Shop guy. If you sub to me, I'm sure you sub to him too. He's got some very nice videos of some restorations he's done. South Bend, lathe, he's done several of those. I think 2 or 3 he's done down in his basement, and nice machines, and he's so meticulous and really does a nice job on the restorations. And he brought up an old Bridgeport too, and then recently I think it was a Brown and Sharp dividing head he went through. So nicely equipped shop, and he and I have been PMing back and forth on Facebook and talking a little bit, and we exchanged some stuff, and let's go take a look at what he sent.
Okay, so we got a package from Easton, Pennsylvania. I'm not going to reveal the address, but I got a feeling it's from my buddy Brad Jacobs, and I'm going to just felt pen right through his address and right through my address, but it is to me, Stan Zinkoski. So let's crack this open and see what we got. See what Mr. Jacobs decided to send us. Well, I get newspaper readings from Pennsylvania. What do you guys got on sale over there? There's more stuff in here. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Well, that's nice. Live center, Morse taper 2. Very good condition. Brad, thank you very much. That's pretty sweet. Looks like a double row bearing. It's going to make a great spare. Thank you, thank you. Let's see what else is down in here. What is this? Ooh. LS Starrett Company, my kind of box. Whoa! Look at that. Vintage test indicator. Very nice. Nice big dial for my old eyes too. Wow, look how thin that thing is. Look at the profile on that thing. I've never owned one of these. That's pretty cool, Brad. What a great surprise. Thank you. And I got a little bag or box here. The New York Twist Drill Company. What's in here? I think that might just be packing. There's something in here. Oh my gosh. There's some little tiny something in there. Like little wires. Twist drills. Good Lord. What size? 0.009. Are you insane? Look at the size of those drills. I can't see those. much less have a chuck to chuck them up in. They're wire drills. I'm not even going to open the bag. I'll lose them. That's pretty good, Brad. Thanks for that. Don't know what I'll ever do with those. But I'm really digging this indicator. It's got the mounting bar for it. And this thing is pretty choice for probably as old as it is. See if we can get a date off of here. Nope, no date on this. I've never seen a last word that size. And the profile is very thin. Okay, well, thank you, Brad. Sure appreciate that.
And we're back. And Brad, thank you for those pieces. And I'm not going to tell anyone what I sent you. I'll let you do your own video on that. But Brad and I exchanged a few things. If you don't sub to his channel, go over there, Basement Shop Guy. Very nicely done videos. And I think for this new year, he might be changing his format and going back to his roots and not doing really the restorations, but maybe throwing in some projects in there. And so maybe we'll see a change in his channel for the better or for the worse. I don't know. Next up, squares. I've gotten a bunch of them out just recently, and these are the next up that are coming down the pike. Daniel R, Zach P, Craig N, Ray and Phil, I haven't forgot about you. Rick H is one of my locals, and he's got a starter set coming. So those are coming up early next month. And then all my regular little orders that get pounded through the Bars East site. The little 2-inch squares just go like crazy. And we've been going crazy around here on shipping. I hope everyone's satisfied with your squares that you bought. You know, I'd love to hear feedback from you. I always send emails out, you know, after I know you've got them in your hands, and I give you about a week to look them over, and then I'll shoot you an email and make sure you're happy with them. Money back guarantee. I mean, I don't put that in writing, but you know, if you're not happy with them for whatever reason, I'll give you your money back. Everyone that's ever put their hands on them is really satisfied with them. Next up, I've got a little, we changed the way we're hardening the squares. And what we're going to do is we're going to go visit K&M Edgecraft. And this is a place where a very small oven is being put to very good use. And this is literally right next door in the most literal sense. So it's not a big deal for me to go over there and harden. I'm going to show you the hardening process. A lot of guys have sent me emails. They want to see what you do to harden stuff. It's not rocket science. It's pretty boring. There's some language involved because it's 3 guys hanging out in a shop late at night, and we're hardening squares. And I'm going to try to bleep it out, but I've never had to bleep videos before. I'm going to try to bleep it out, but if not, you might have to listen to some language. Take a look at that.
Okay, if you want to.
Keep it submerged, we'll keep the smoke down. I'm going to bring another one of those to keep them segregated. We're going to have another pair of them now too.
Take a little more time.
Don't blow that shit over to me.
You're the one who's burnt up.
Hmm?
You're the one who's been breathing this shit forever already.
What, oil smoke?
It smells like the freeway.
Just a layer. 60/30s. Pretty boring, huh?
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, this is great.
The novelty will wear off, but right now it's still fun.
No, it's not fun.
It's fun for me.
Doing it with a torch, it's not fun. Doing it like this, it's not fun. It's stinky, and you go to bed and you smell like oil smoke, and it sucks. And you wake up the next morning, your pillow smells like this shit.
God damn.
What the fuck?
Warn a fuck before you do that.
What was that?
He's putting the thing in.
Oh,
The mark.
well, we're trying to be
He
all.
did it on purpose. We got
We're trying to be
blowing
all.
out shit over here.
We're trying to be all steady and careful.
Asshole! It was
Move.
right when he was trying to put it on the hook.
I'm sitting there, yeah. I'm playing fucking. Remember Operation? When you were a kid playing Operation?
Somebody just messed their pants.
Ready for your next?
Coming up on another one.
All right. Well, now we're expecting it.
I only got 20 of these things to do or something
Did you
like
burn
that.
something?
Did I burn something?
Yeah, a whole bunch of smoke came out of your area.
Well, off my pliers. And it's kinda-
So I just I
pliers are
wondered if you.
getting freaking hot. Oil. Keep it.
Well, I just saw a bunch of smoke poop up, so I didn't know if you touched your glove or something.
Well, yeah, I touched my own gloves are all oily and nasty. I touched my pliers. See where they're center punching on a wood bench.
Is that what it was?
What a knucklehead. Yeah. Do you have an anvil or
It's got a
something?
good sound. He's got as many anvils as you do.
I don't have any anvils.
Well then, you're gonna make one.
Okay, ready for your next?
Close your
Hmm?
cooking.
All
Is that it?
right. We're gonna load it again, or? Yeah.
And we're back. And so there's there's an evening in the shop with the guys, hardening squares and making ourselves stink from oil. And this is what we end up with. We ended up with voodoo necklaces full of hardened squares ready to go to grind. So that was an evening's hardening right there. Next up, what are we talking about next? Oh, Metro Transit Authority, MTA, was the large train booth that we've been working on. We've got all our pipe run. Final count on that booth was 3,200 feet of conduit that went on that spray booth. And we pulled wire the other day. And let's go take a peek at that panel right after we pulled wire in it. Let's go look at that. And here we are at the main control cabinet. And you can see up here, we got all my pipes labeled where they go. There's the back row and the front row. And it's all going out to the rack. And I just labeled them for my own convenience, so I know who goes where. And that's going out to those two pipe racks there. One goes up on top of the unit and the other hooks a hard right and goes out to the heaters. But down here, we've got all the wire pulled in. There's all our comm cables there. These are all thermostat wires and Belden cable, all running their own happy little pipe, and everything else is pulled in separate. So I'm gonna bring you back. I'm gonna sit in front of this panel for 3 or 4 hours and get all this made up and try to make heads or tails of this. Gee, I hope I get it hooked up right. All right, see you guys this afternoon. And we're back. What a mess that is. Wow, how am I ever gonna clean that up? Let's go look at it now. Okay, so it's after lunch and we've got this thing buttoned up. Let's take a good look at all that and how I routed all the wires. All the low voltage is on the left. Low voltage and control is all your Belden cables and all the comm cables going to the PLC. That's the PLC across the center. All the high voltage breaks off to the right. Those are all your brown, orange, yellows. And they're routed in the back. Bundled, but not too tightly. We don't bundle tightly because of wire bundling overheating issues. And that goes to that row of starters. Here we are on a
balmy day in Southern California, and we are back at Metro Transit Authority. And we're kind of on the home stretch here for these air makeup units. That is a Riello 2.1 million BTU direct fired furnace. We've got all our conduits in, we're flexed in, we're terminated on our terminal strip there. And these burners are coming to a close. I'll take you over and show you the fan section. There's a disconnect I'm currently wiring. I'm just pulling wire right off my cart. And you'll notice we got ground bushings at all concentric knockouts. Putting ground bushings in there, and we have a continuous ground through the ground bushing and then up to a ground lug. And these are 480 volt disconnects. Motor's wired for high volt, and there's probably a familiar looking connection arrangement there inside that pecker head. Belt drive, those are 7.5 horse, 42-inch 6 wing fans. There's one with the enclosure on it. Same disconnect. Same arrangement there. And another heater. And I'll kind of step back and show you the magnitude of this. We've got 4 of these air handlers. There's the pre-filter tower, those boxes with the filters in them, that's where they breathe their air. And then that duct takes them into the building. So we've got 2 there on a mirror image of each other. And let me step over here and try to get the other 2. And there's 2 more that are opposite mirror image of each other. And exact same arrangement all the way through. And that's where they duct into the building to the spray booth inside. So those are the 4 mechanical units that we had to wire. But all the piping's done, the wire's been pulled in, terminated. We're just finishing up a couple little things. And this job will be at a close. I've got to terminate in the main control cabinet. And we're going to be wrapping this today.
And we're back. So that panel's tidied up. It's ready for power. That's not my deal. I don't have to run power to that thing. So we're waiting on power, and then we got one more trip to go back there and do a startup. Next up, I got an email from a guy that wanted to know more about explosion areas. Class 1 Division 1, Class 1 Division 2. A lot of this stuff is not going to be interesting at all to you guys. But what I will say, Class 1 Division 1 area is a higher hazard than a Division 2 area. Class 1 Division 1 is where flammable or explosive vapors are present during normal operation. Class 1 Division 2 is typically an area adjacent to a Division 1 area where during abnormal conditions, explosive or flammable vapors are present in a concentrated form. So basically a Class 1 Division 2 area cannot exist without having a Class 1 Division 1 area adjacent to it. So in the case of a spray booth, there's many different cases and many different applications, but in the specific case of a spray booth, the interior of the booth is Class 1 Division 1. Inside the booth, around any openings of the booth, there's a bubble, an imaginary bubble around a door opening or a conveyor opening or an overhead conveyor slot or anything like that. There's a bubble around there that is a Division 2 area, which is a little bit less stringent than the Division 1. But let's cut and I'll show you some explosion seals and why we use explosion seals and use them to create a barrier between a Division 1, a Division 2, and then just a plain old NEMA 1 area, how we create a boundary. So let's go look at some electrical.
And here's a little electrical theory for some of you guys. These have door limit switches on them, and you'll probably notice that that switch is a Class 1 Division 2. I know the tag's on upside down, but that is a Class 1, actually it's a Class 1 Division 1 rated. And this area is a Class 1 Division 2 area because it is adjacent to a Class 1 Division 1 area. The interior of the booth is Class 1 Division 1. Inside of there, full-on explosion proof. Class 1 Division 2 exists adjacent to a Division 1 area. So essentially there's a 3-foot bubble around that door, an imaginary bubble around that door, where all the electrical has to be rated Class 1 Division 2, which is vapor proof. So it has to be Class 1 Div 2 or better. And that means explosion seal, rigid conduit, 5 threads fully engaged, and exiting the area unbroken after the seal. Seal needs to be the last fitting. Same here. This is a rated fixture, Class 1 Division 2 rated fixture. And I've got a seal open here. Kill-Arc telephone elbow. It is rated for the area. It says it on the back side, it's rated. And I was gonna let you take a peek down that seal. And what happens in here is around the wires, they get packed with a fiberglass. So the packing goes in down here, and we use a popsicle stick to separate the wires and poke the fiber down in the bottom. And then a potting mixture gets submixed. It's called Chico, and it gets poured into this fitting, and it fills up to here, level full with that bottom thread right there. And then the plug is greased. This plug will get greased and screwed in while everything's still wet. But we make sure there's plenty of grease on the backside so the plug can be removed for inspection. It's a pretty quick cure. Those things cure up in about an hour. So the reason those get potted is because if vapors do enter this fixture, it cannot travel down the conduit and get to other parts of the system. Here again, we've got the seal fitting, 5 threads fully engaged, and we exit the area unbroken. My boundary is right about here. So we exit the area with rigid conduit, and over there we're back to NEMA 1 methods. All right. But that's what explosion proof is about, and vapor proof.
Back. And I hope this answered your question, Chris. You know, I've been going back and forth with a guy via email about explosion areas and why they exist and what you do to create the boundaries in the electrical system. Next up, got a little bit of mail from Keith Finner. This was actually a long time ago. I wasn't even expecting this. This was from my donation to his toolbox giveaway, but this showed up in the mail. And we're back. And how cool is that? You know, I got Keith Finner swag. I got my Get Her Done sticker up there, and I got a hat, and I got a shirt, and that was awesome. Last up is a gentleman by the name of Chris Stevens has gone to great lengths. I bought a magnetic sign plate, a Suburban magnetic sign plate from him, and he went to great lengths to get it shipped to me. He started off with it in just a plain old box. I guess UPS took it out the door and brought it back the same day and said, hey, you need handles on this thing, you got to have heavy stickers on it, crate, blah, blah, blah. So he made a really awesome crate, and he's getting my magnetic sign plate to me, and I'm really looking forward to it, Chris, and I appreciate all your effort getting that to me. All right, yeah, that's going to be coming up in some bids too. All right, so that's my week update. No machine work, sorry if you were expecting it, sorry you didn't get what you wanted, but appreciate you watching, guys. Thanks, bye.